This is a Touchstone Publishers presentation, your trusted source of leadership knowledge.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to your live podcast or live broadcast today from Essential Leadership Skills. My name is Glenn Daniels, and I am the COO of Touchstone Publishers. Welcome. A wonderful Thursday morning. So, let us continue our discussion from yesterday and the day before about the secret traits of being a great leader. So, let's start off today with this idea that we must have a great personality. If you're going to be a great leader, you must have a great personality. So start off with the negative here. Here's some things that you should not be doing. You should not be lazy. You should not be careless. And you should start thinking you should stop thinking you are better than the others. You have a title that doesn't make you better than the other people. You have your title doesn't make you better than the other people. There's 5 levels of leadership. The lowest level of leadership, the person with the less skills in leadership, they're only a leader because they have the title. As you move up the chain, we get to the very top where people want to follow you because of your dreams, your passion, your vision. They want to follow you because of that. They want to be part of your universe because of that. That has nothing to do with your title. You realize that you're not better than anybody else who's your direct report or who's your peers or who's even above you. You do not think about yourself being better. Being lazy. Being lazy. Let's give you an example. I think that every single morning, you should make an effort to say good morning to everyone on your team. And I'm not just saying to say it because we're in the office and it's easy to walk around and say good morning. Even then, some of us are too lazy to walk around and say good morning to everyone on the team. Even then, we're too lazy to do that sometimes. So I'm going to suggest that you stop being lazy. It's hard right now if your team is remote, but you can take 2 seconds to send a chat message and say, hey, good morning. Good morning. Let me go into that just a little bit more depth for you because I think this is important framework for you not being lazy. Every morning, people who's on your team should be reached out to and say good morning to them. Now you got to quickly train your team to understand that when I'm walking by and saying good morning, that's all it is good morning. It's not the time for you to stop and talk and tell me about your problems. It's just saying good morning. You say good morning back. How? Just quick greeting. So again, if someone stops you, it says, hey, Glenn, or hey, John, I have this issue here, blah, 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 blah. Well, what John would do or Glenn would do is just simply say, you know what? Let me make a mental note of that. I'm going to get back to you as soon as I finish saying good morning to everybody. And then make sure you get back to them. It's a little bit easier if you're doing a remote team. You just send a quick chat message to say good morning. That's all you have to do. Sometimes we're too lazy to do that. We come up with excuses why we can't say good morning. I'm asking you not to be lazy in doing that. I'm asking you not to be lazy in putting together your documentation for each employee, having one-on-one meetings. Don't be lazy. When you're lazy, it takes away from you having a great, powerful personality. Being careless, not getting out reports. I can tell you a story, negative story on me. I had put together a group of people who I was training, and I got a little bit careless. The first class I did was perfect. The second class I did was perfect. But the third class, the information I got from HR was not perfect. I got a bit careless and just ran through that and just used that. Didn't bother to take a look at it. So we had wrong names. We had a guy named Tom in the class, but his information said Sue. Okay, we had a guy, Sue had the wrong name, last name. She had the name of Cook, but her last name I think was I can't even begin to pronounce it, but it wasn't Cook for sure. Okay. These things you can't be careless about. When you're careless about those things, your personality gets dinged. It gets dinged. Okay, now the other thing about having a great personality is you must seek first to understand everyone who reports to you. Seek first to understand them. Where does that sound familiar from? From the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Seek first to understand, then only be understood. But as far as a great personality goes, seek first to understand. Seek first to understand. That will help you create a great personality. Now, the next one, empathy. Now, empathy in itself is overused, underplayed, both overused and both underplayed. People give it too much credit. People don't give it enough credit. You must find a way to connect with people. And the best way to do that is to start asking yourself better questions. Ask better questions of yourself. Now, these questions are not about you. These questions are about you attempting to go back to that first one, seeking first to understand people. So we talked about great personality. Got to seek first to understand people. If you want to have empathy with people, seek first to understand them by asking better questions. One great question, and this was really emphasized to me by she was a vice president of a very large corporation. And by the way, before I even tell you that story, let me tell you about her. Now, she was running an office here in Denver, had about 600 employees. And she made a point every morning to say good morning. Okay, but her main point was to say good morning to those people, those 3 people who were direct reports to her. Okay, she made a point. Okay, now what she'd also do is just take every so often and walk through different segments of the buildings. We're in 2 different buildings, and just say good morning. So she may say to 50 people good morning. She wasn't lazy about it, was she? But she made a point for sure, her direct reports, to say good morning to. Good morning to that. Okay, but then also she taught me this question of what is their positive intent. Understanding people do not intentionally do things wrong. They have, well, they may, but they have a reason for doing it, and that reason serves them and you. If you're going to express empathy and understand what empathy is, you need to understand what the reason is. Do not get lazy about this. Okay? Seek first to understand, and then understand what is their positive intent for their actions. Now, I sometimes ask coaches that and say, well, what was that person's positive intent for behaving that way? Oh, he was just a jerk. That's being lazy. What is that person's positive intent for the actions they take? Why are they taking the steps that they are taking? I have an employee that I just was on the verge of just getting rid of. So I started to understand what their positive intent was for not asking questions and not following up. English was actually her 3rd language. And she hadn't quite gotten the idioms that I was using. She hadn't quite gotten into the conversation, so she was having a hard time even socializing with people. So her positive intent was not to ruffle feathers by asking questions that may have seemed stupid. Well, once I kind of really remembered this lesson that Ebony taught me, I understand her positive intent was not to defy what I was saying. Her positive intent was to try to stay in a positive light with what we were doing. Now we can work with that employee and correct that employee and get that employee better. Powerful lesson. Powerful lesson. I will share Ebony's last name because she's on LinkedIn, but I didn't get permission to do this. But this lady is a powerful lady. And if you ever see a lady named Ebony Langston, I'll just say it, Ebony Langston. If you ever see her on any podcast or anything where she's talking about leadership, you should go to that and pay attention to that. And I'll let her know that I mentioned her in this live broadcast. The next step, the next secret trait, you must master your craft. Mastery of your craft as a leader. You must find ways to do this. You must become the master of your craft as a leader. And I'm going to ask you to learn all you need to learn about being a leader. Okay? Learn all you need to learn about being a leader. You need to learn your communication skills. You need to learn your accountability skills, your leadership skills, your attitudinal skills. You need to learn all these skills. and learn as much as you can about those and get involved with those. You must rely on your mastermind. Remember, a couple of days ago, we talked about the mastermind group. You must rely on your mastermind group to help you lock into this. Learn all you need to learn about things. And while you're mastering your craft, remember, you must pay attention to the details. You must focus. So here comes the rub a little bit here. I need to pay attention to the details. I need to focus, but I need to learn as much as I can learn and learn more than everybody else, by the way. But during the day, I need to focus on the details. During the time period that I have set for work, so I set an hour and a half time every single morning before the show comes on to prepare my day. Okay, three things in my morning ritual. One is just planning out the day, so I know exactly what I want to do. But that's paying attention to the details. Okay, I set up a time for me to read, to learn more. It is not the whole day. I do my best not to get distracted with things during the course of the day. I know if I have on Facebook or YouTube, or I'm going to be trying to watch videos to learn how to do my craft better or to entertain myself, I lose focus. When I lose focus, I lose the details. I think you're similar. When you lose focus, you lose the details. Here comes another thing that some of you are not going to like. When you multitask. When you multitask, you lose the details. When you multitask, you're not paying attention to the details and you're not mastering your craft of a leader. Focus to master your craft as a leader. Okay, mastery of your craft as a leader means learning more, going that extra mile or two. For the few of you who have taken the class on powerful attitude, if you remember Captain Susan, one of the things that she was very well known for is she always went that extra mile or two to learn more so she could master flying her plane. Okay, and it wasn't just about this plane that she was flying. It was about the weather conditions and the thermals coming off the ocean and off the mountains and what type of turbulence she would get into on bad weather days crossing the mountains. She just understood everything there was to understand about the plane. She understood the stresses on the airplane, what type of landing the plane could stand and what type of landings they couldn't stand. She learned more than everybody else. This is the only way you're going to master your craft. We had a discussion yesterday about this. You got to master your craft, but it shouldn't be shallow. Okay, so we were talking about, and I'm guilty of this. I want to master my craft of learning, so I went to probably 10 different authors and read 10 different books. All of them were kind of teaching the same thing, but have a different slant. If I really want to master my craft, I would take one person and dig deep, dive deep. And I'd master that craft by taking what they said and dive deep into it and go deep, deep, deep down into it. Okay. And that way I can really get a good handle on that. If I wanted to master my craft, I would go through, and I'm suggesting this for everyone. He doesn't know I'm doing this either. No one's paying me for this. Darren Hardy. He is brilliant. Let me show you something real quick. Want to master my craft as a leader? Here's his workbooks. Okay. Here's his workbooks. I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, but there's his workbooks. I have them in a notebook. And after our discussion yesterday, I decided, okay, you know what? I'm not going to read anybody else for a while. I'm going to deep dive everything he says here in his workbooks. So, and I'm going to really get into it. I'm going to really make sure that I pull everything together for now until July when I feel like we'll be able to get back out on the road and start speaking to people. Okay. But in the meantime, from my learning time from 4 o'clock in the afternoon till 6:30 at night, mastering the craft. Okay. That's my personal development. That's how I'm going to master my craft and get 2 times better. So the question is, what can you do? What are you going to do to master your craft? What are you going to do to deep dive? I'm not saying Darren Hardy is the only person. He's the best person for me. I have another friend who believes in Brian Tracy 100%. I've read 3 books of Brian Tracy's. I've listened to his videos. Great person. But I'm choosing to deep dive here. Who are you going to choose a deep dive on? Grab your paper and pencil and write it down right now. I'm deep diving this person. And when I say deep dive, I mean you're going to take everything they say to do and do it. Okay? You're going to take everything they say to do it and do it. You're not just going to read it and store it away. You're going to take action on it. That's how you master your craft. By mastering your craft, you build confidence because you're competent. Competent leads to confidence. Remember this from yesterday? Competence leads to confidence, which leads to excellence. Master your craft. The next one we want to talk about this morning is being 100% responsible. 100% responsibility for everything. Now, if you've been with me before, you know I will tell you right now, you can't do it. Being 100% responsible is not going to happen. But here's a formula that you might want to take in mind. You are 100% responsible for the event plus the result. I'm sorry, the event plus your reaction equals your outcome. You are responsible for the reaction. Okay. But I found a better way to say this. You are 100% responsible for what you do. You're 100% responsible for what you do not do. And you're 100% responsible for how you react to things. So Julie has several employees, and two of them just get on her nerves. So when she started getting a hold of this, she started saying, okay, I get this now. I'm 100% responsible for what I do, which means that I'm 100% responsible for what I say to that person. I'm also 100% responsible for what I do not say. So if I do not say thank you to that person for doing a good job today, but tomorrow I jump on them for doing a bad job, if I do not follow the 80-20 rule, which simply means, if you round it down a little bit, for every time I have a complaint about something, I should have already given them 3 compliments. I should have always said 3 times, patted them on the back, saying, hey, got you to work on time today. Appreciate it. Hey, turn that project in on time. Hey, that's great. You know, I noticed you're uplifting everybody else on the team. That's great. Hey, you're spending too much time away from your desk. 3 and 1. That should be your routine. 3 and 1. Okay. So what you would say is, you know, okay, so I said thank you, or I didn't say thank you. So I didn't is what I did not do. I did not say thank you for doing a good job. What I said, what I didn't say. What I do, what I don't do. And the last part of that equation is you're responsible for how you react. So you're responsible for how you react. That other person, they're not responsible for that. If they push that button, you're the one responsible for determining how you're going to react to that. You can't put that back on them. So those are the only 3 things that you can make yourself responsible for. If you're trying to make yourself say, if you're trying to go by the thought that I'm 100% responsible for everything goes on, it's not possible. Stop stressing about it. Relax. Just remember what you do not do, and how you react. That's all you're responsible for. Okay? That's all that you're responsible for. Number 4, cooperation. If you're going to be successful, you must begin finding cooperation. Find ways to connect, collaborate, and remember you're not the boss. You're not the boss. You're there to connect, collaborate, and help people, to develop people. Your number 1 role as a leader, by the way, your number 1 role as a leader is to develop your people. Develop your people for the next step on the journey. Develop your people. Even if that next step on the journey is to get to retirement, all they want to do is collect a paycheck. Develop that person so they can do it easier with less stress, where they spend most of the time, and that's on the job site. Find ways to connect with people. Professionally, I am certainly not saying go out bowling and drinking with people on your team. What I'm saying is connect with them professionally. Collaborate with them, work with them, support them in reaching their goals. I'm not saying for you to go do their job. I'm saying support them in doing their job. A lot of people like to say, by the way, while we're talking about this, a lot of people like to say, well, I need a manager who knows how to do my job. The higher you go up in the company, the more you realize you're not doing the other person's job. You're supporting them in doing their job. In fact, you may only understand the principles of how they do the job or what they should be doing on the job. You understand the principles, so you have a way to measure their success. but you're not doing the job. You hired them because they know more about the job and doing the job better than you. So that's what they should be doing. But you need to help them, support them, collaborate with them, connect with them. And remember, you're not the boss in the terms of the 60s, 70s, the George C. Scott kind of generals. You're not that boss. If that's in your personality, get flexible and stop being that way. Support, connect, and collaborate. You need cooperation. You need cooperation with people. Leadership is created with strength, confidence, and vision. A great leader has strength, they have confidence, and they have vision. They have strength to do the right things. They have confidence because they're competent, and they have a vision of where they want to go. Now, all of these start and end with cooperation from others. The more you cooperate with others, the easier it is for this to carry on, for your vision to become life. Okay. Now, I want to say thank you very much for taking the time today. We've been a little bit longer. Very much for taking the time to tune in and listen. But I do have, of course, one last thing. Just one last thing. Are you losing your focus? Are you taking on too many projects? Okay. Are you losing your focus? Are you taking on too many projects? So, in my accountability group, my accountability partner, we decided yesterday, okay, let's do another podcast. And this is a wonderful idea. We're going to put this together and we're going to use it. Except for, I started thinking, wait a minute, I am getting too much going on. I'm responsible for too much right here. I can't do 5 days a week here and then do this 1 day a week and then do everything I'm supposed to be doing, creating the content for YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, my blog, creating all that content, making videos, all that. Too much. I'm losing my focus. So, made an adjustment. We're only going to do the show Monday through Thursday. Okay? We're not going to go as long as we did today unless we have a guest, and it's going to be valuable to you. But Monday through Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. It'll be live, and then it'll be where you can listen to it later on. If you can't catch it live, you'll be able to listen to it later on. Okay, so it should go up almost immediately. But if you're on the channel, you'll get the message as soon as it goes up. You get the message that we're live, and then you better listen to it going up. So I want to be the example here. I want to make sure that I'm not taking on so much that I lose my focus, that I forget I need more cooperation from people because I'm tired. Okay. If you get tired and you get worn out with people, you don't do your job. Listen to a lady this morning who was talking about how she's such a good sales closer, except for when she doesn't get enough sleep at night. When she's worried about where's that next $100,000 deal coming from. She's in a high-end, high complex marketing system. Now, because she is in complex sales, she has a long-term sales cycle. So sometimes at night she is worried about, okay, this one's close, but I got to get another 2 or 3 people into the pipeline. Well, I recommended to her, like I'm going to recommend to you, another gentleman named David Susan, S-U-S-O-N, David Susan. He's got a book out that you need to read. He specializes in complex sales. So if you're in complex sales, again, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm just giving you a resource. Go to David Susan. He can help you with complex software sales because he is a high performance coach, an expert in this area, and he can help you. So just look him up on the internet, David Susan, S-U-S-O-N, and he'll be able to give you a lot of great information. All right, folks, remember to join us Monday morning. It says tomorrow, but it'll be Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Fridays we're going to take off, so that will change the show Monday through Thursdays. Fridays we're going to work on that other podcast for accountability. But Monday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Hey, folks, thank you very much for spending this week with us. We're getting better, I hope. I'm getting the technical glitches down. I'm doing better at laying out the structure. We're getting better. Hang in there. We'll get a lot better because this is fun. All right, take care. Have a great week. And